Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, and happy Monday. I'm Mary Bicknell, and today is a little taste of your Monday morning motivation. And this is the question for you. What if you did know? This is what I find, is that so many times I work with these amazing, brilliant women, and what they say is, I don't know. I'm confused. I can't quite figure it out. And there is a level of that is 100% true. Without a shadow of a doubt. 100% true. You truly may not know. You truly may not have a clue on how to do whatever it is, that thing that you are dying to do. And that could be in your business. That could be in your personal life. That could be, so in your business, it could look like maybe you're building a business. I help, mental health and wellness professionals create a coaching business, either full-time as a side gig, transition out of it, make more money, shift their thinking so that they can show up and be, that all-in leader that they need to be. Or I work with people, and I work with people who, it's life coaching. It's hardcore life coaching. It's like, why are you stuck? Why are you procrastinating? What's in the way? Why aren't you fulfilling your dreams? Why aren't you living out your calling? Why aren't you going for it? You feel like, you're not getting along with your husband, your kid, your family, yourself. You've forgotten who you are in the world, and you're just like, who am I? And so my question, my dears, is, what if you did know? What if you did know and you're just too afraid to allow yourself to know? Allow yourself to receive the downloads that you have. Allow yourself to say, yes, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm pretty good. What if you allowed yourself to know? And have you ever allowed yourself to know that you know that you know? And I am 100% positive there's been many times in your life like that you did know. You knew what you wanted to do. You knew who you wanted to be. You knew where you wanted to go. You knew what kind of life you wanted. You knew how to even make it happen. And then you bumped up against the wall. Bam! Bumped up against the wall. Bam! And the wall is your thinking. The wall is the way you're processing the should I or shouldn't I. The wall is your fear of what will other people think. The wall could be the fear of success, the fear of failure, the taking 100% responsibility. So I challenge you today, Monday, motivation, mental stuff, mindset, psychology. The question is, what if you did know? See, the problem that most people have with that question is when you ask yourself, Mary, what if you actually knew how to find a great guy? What if you really knew how to build $1 million business? What if you really knew how to push the button on my phone and Facebook Live? What if I really did know instead of all this, I don't really know? A couple things come up, right? All of our baggage comes up, all our limiting thinking, all our limiting mindset, all of that stuff comes up. And then those feelings of discomfort come up. What are people going to think? Oh my God, how are people going to judge me? Do you think it's a good idea? Is it stupid? Is it crazy? Oh my God, am I losing my mind? I feel stuck. I'm pissed. I'm stuck. I'm so fucking angry. Why is this happening? This always happens. And then what happens? Then you do nothing. Then you crawl back into your floating head of to do and not, being conscious and aware that you are 100% responsible for what you want out of your life. So what if you did know, the very next thing is, now what am I supposed to feel? What am I supposed to do? So that's where a lot of it comes, right? It's if you knew how to do it, you probably, if you're not in the place of feeling inspired to do it, feeling called to do it, feeling ready to face the fears about doing it, ready to get uncomfortable doing it, you're not going to do it unless you make that as a hard decision. Like that whole, what does it say? Like, come hell or high water or something like that. Like along those lines, like ready to make shit happen. Like, unless you're like, all the life stuff is going to come up. Your mom judging you. I can't believe that you wore that when you were on that Facebook. People looked at you. I can't believe that all of that. So the question, what if you did know, means what are you going to do now, right? That's the next piece of this. It's like, well, what are you going to do now? That can be the scary piece. Who's resonating? Who's like feeling the vibe here? Give me some love if you're like totally getting it, right? You're totally in that place of like, yes, right? This is what's happening to you, is that that you just don't necessarily want to face the fact that you know. Look, let me give you an example. Like, let's give this example. When I give this example, I'm going to give you two examples and you're just going to be like, duh. And that's the point here. I want to give you duh examples because most things in life are like that. So it's like you're a parent for the first time and you're like, what do you do? What do you do? I don't know what to do. And the question is, well, like, what if you did know? What if you did know how to not kill your kid by accident? What if you're afraid? I'll answer that. Thank you for posting. Right? Right? If you did know, then you have to show up to be a great mom. What if you it's like the question is, what if you did know how to lose weight? Then what? Then you got to stop eating all that junk food at night. And sometimes eating M&Ms, watching Netflix is pretty fun. Or that's what you could tell yourself. What if you did know what to do? What if you weren't really confused that you needed to get up and go exercise? It's the same thing in building your business. A lot of people say to me, like, I really don't know what to do. And I'm like, you just start telling people what you do. You just start showing up being your real self. You just start allowing yourself to lead with what excites you. What if it was just a little bit that simple? So one of the questions, thanks for sharing, was fear, right? If you have some fear of failing. You know what fear of failing is a lot of times? It's not remembering this truth, that you cannot be successful without lots of failures. And somehow we got screwed up thinking that the only way to have success is by having success after success after success after success. That's not how it works, right? We have to have failure, experimenting, and you can call it experimenting. And so in a way, if you say, I'm afraid to fail, you're really saying, I'm afraid to experiment to see whether it will work out. Right? Because failure happens, and if we look at understanding that failure has a lesson in it and it can be a stepping stone to success, then you wouldn't be afraid to fail. You'd be like, I need to fail more. I need to screw up more. I need to learn more. If you allowed yourself to feel that, to think that and then feel that, what happens is we've attached a feeling of failure with our self-identity. So let's just say you don't want to get married again because it will be the third time and you don't want to fail again at getting married. But you're 42. What are your fucking options? So it's also deciding what is failure, defining it. You get to decide right now in this moment what you mean by failure, right? So let's use that example, and then I'll use a business example because I like to use the life coaching stuff and then the business coaching so you can hear it differently for whoever's watching. Thank you. I'm glad you got that. So if you're afraid to get married again, because this will be husband number 3 and I'm 43, I don't want to fail again. So you're some people could look at, failure, divorce number 3, you failed at wedding or marriage. Some people would look back and say you had 70, you lived to 80 and you were alone for years, almost 40 years. That was a failure. Mind change. Yay! Thank you for sharing that. Mind change, right? So let's look at this in business. You know, I'm going to give you 2 examples of where I could have been crushed if by something I did within my business. 2 examples I'm going to give you. If I would have attached failure to them. If I would have attached failure meaning, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm terrible. I might as well quit. Like failing, you know, like to me is quitting. If I quit, then I failed. Unless I made a conscious decision like pivoting or this isn't the right thing, right? It's really back up here how we decide. So number 1 is I ran a Facebook ad for a campaign for a launch of a program I did, $4,500 in Facebook ads, $4,500. 3 people signed up, 2 of whom knew me. So they didn't count in the $4,500 ad spend. I'm going to address that, taking the exam again. So let me get that in a second. Thank you for sharing that. I could have looked at that like $4,500. 2 people already knew me. They met me in person. So they didn't count within my idea of like how much money I'm spending, how much I wanted to succeed in this program launch. It ended up, I realized like clearly my message isn't very effective, and I refunded their money and I have tweaked the program. Thank God, right? So I could have looked at that like it was a massive failure. And on one level, you could say, well, I failed reaching the goal of like having a $50,000 launch. Or I could look at it, which is what I chose to do, look at it and go, ugh, that didn't work out. What do I need to do differently? What am I missing that I can't even see? Thank God that worked out like it did. Yay! Right? Thank God, because I was able to turn it around, look and see, what did I miss? What did I miss? How was I showing up? What was my marketing? What happened? And have a big successful business now. You know, it's grown since then. Another perceived failure was, and I've shared this before, and if you need this, Closing the Deal Call. It's called Closing the Deal Call. It's a free training. If you want that, put #replay Closing the Deal. I will send to you the link. You can sign up to get that free sales call training. Anyhow, I did 35 sales calls in a row. 0. I closed 0 people. God. I'll tell you the truth. I was feeling a little bit like I'm failing at sales calls. Well, what happened was, thank God, I was able to turn that around and realize like, okay, if I can examine what I've done, I have the ability to change that. So the question is, what if I did know what I did wrong? I can change that. And so the question is, what if I did know? What if you did know? So someone shared that they're getting ready to take their licensing exam for the 3rd time and they failed before. So let's look at that as like, what's information about that, right? What's the information about that? A couple things it could be. Number 1 is, you know, sometimes people suck at taking tests. It's just like that's the way their thinking is. So how could you set things up differently? Have you practiced besides those 2 exams, right? Have you practiced? Do you know what category that you didn't do well in? And have you done the due diligence to learn some more about them, right? This is not necessarily a sign from God that you should not be a clinician. Could be a sign from God you need to be a coach instead, and I can help you with that. Now, you know, I understand that you want to take the license. I'm not minimizing that. So it is about how you're thinking. So today I want to encourage you, when you have those moments of like, I don't really know, step back, grab your piece of paper, write it out. What if I did know? And get quiet. You know, listen to that intuition that you may be turning off. You might have that voice that's like, you don't really know. You really don't know. Keep saying, well, what if I did know? What if I did know? What if I did know? I bet you'll come up with some answers. So for those of you who want to, number 1, have that closing the deal sales conversation script, please feel free, put it in the comments below. I'll send you the link. And for those of you who are interested in like, wow, I want to do some more live coaching with Mary. I want to understand a little bit about how my thinking, feeling, behavior impacts what I'm doing. Right here, put put hashtag mini session, and I will send you my calendar link for a free life coaching mini session. And I only do a few of these a week. We record these so that you have some big ahas. And go out there and enjoy your Monday and recognize that you actually know more than you think you know. So allow yourself to be in that place. And I will talk to you later. Bye.